Bet you didn't expect to see one of these today, huh? I had a bit of inspiration to do this one. So a couple of weeks ago, I was cleaning up records, and I was a bit surprised because, you know, when Analog Productions puts out a reissue, you're expecting to see one of three mastering engineers. So you're expecting to see Kevin Gray, Bernie Grunman, or Ryan K. Smith. To get anything outside of those three is a bit unusual nowadays, but when I cracked this one open, I was very surprised to see Trutone mastering. I don't know the lineage of this. I suspect they were using 80s plates for this, and the original might have been lost in a fire with the original tape. But this just sounds so fantastic. And it was just a highlight that there are other fantastic mastering engineers out there. And Carl Rawati did this one, who is the founder of Trutone. And I am not a huge Ahmad Jamal fan, but when AP does a reissue, it makes me take notice. And I've seen this guy in the dollar bins. I'm not a huge fan of Ahmad's piano playing, but this is an exception. This is one where, you know, there are tracks where he allows his bassist and drummer to solo a little bit, and just fantastic. I recommend this, and as Chad Kaysen would say, buy now or cry later, because I can't see this one being repressed again. Even if you find it in the dollar bin, I'd grab it, but to have a brand new press, fantastic reissue, and the presence, you feel like you're in the club with the man. This is just fantastic. Trutone, you're going to see a CR for Carl Rawati, which was the founder, and then you'll see a TR with a circle, and that is typical of Trutone. And then you'll see Trutone fully spelled out, you'll see Trutone stamped, so there's a bunch of different variations. Trutone had several mastering engineers, and one of them is Phil Austin. If you look at the discography, you know, Carl started it in '72, and then he became a full-fledged mastering engineer in '75. His facility was in New Jersey, and he started out mainly doing comps and reissues. And this is an example of one that came out in the '80s. I love Dinah Washington. This one was done by Phil Austin, and you'll see a PA in the Deadwax. I actually got attracted to this by watching someone that has an Avid, one of the 30,000 Avid turntables, and he was playing Dinah Washington, and so I heard that song, and you know, it's like, you know, you hear those songs and you immediately have to go out and find the LP that was on. So I grabbed this comp, and I really enjoy this comp.
I wanna be loved with inspiration. I wanna be loved starting tonight.
So another example of a compilation is this one. I have a history with this one. So one of the first cassette purchases I ever made was buying this on cassette. And the LP and the cassette originally had a poster with all the breakdance moves. K-Tel records don't sound the greatest because they were trying to cram like 20 or 30 hits on one LP. And when you exceed 25 minutes in length, forget it. But this had some original music on side B. Yeah, I just liked the way it flowed, the way it mixed. If I can get away with it, I'll put a small little sound sample on it here. Carl moved his facility to the record plant in New York. And, you know, he and, you know, some of his other mastering engineers became really big in doing 12 inches. And this is an example of one of the 12 inches that was cut. This is Andreas, who is a Detroit house music staple. This was one of his first ever 12 inches. He just put out a full-length album a year or two back, and it was done by Trutone. One of my favorite records from last year, at least Americana folk records, was Strand of Oaks. This was one of the ones that I put in my best of 2021. This was done by Trutone. The mixing on this album was done in a stellar fashion, and Carl's touches in terms of the mastering just added to it. So in terms of outstanding sounding recordings from last year, this was definitely up there for me. And this just goes to show that, you know, outside of the big three, there are other fantastic mastering engineers. And if you go to Carl's website, he is using vacuum gear where he can. He has Studer tape decks, and he has a Neumann mixing console, and plus his lathe is a Neumann lathe. And yeah, you go through his website, you can see all the gear that he is using. So this album, again, one of my favorite Americana albums from last year. I'll just throw in a sample of this album so you get a feel for what it's like. John's on a walk somewhere, Chicago, domestic calls back in the room. Losing our leaders, who you gonna follow, domestic calls back in the... There you go. Thank you for watching. I hope to do another one of these in the future. I have some ideas for some other videos that I'd like to knock out here in the weeks or months to come. I have had some things percolating in the background, so, you know, hopefully I might be able to get another one out here in a couple of weeks. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.